It's kind of like chemotherapy, but it's...
You can still get sick from it.
You can. I do find a lot of people that get immunotherapy, they have issues, they have side effects. So it's like a drug that they manufacture to try to induce something in the immune system instead of like a true immunotherapy. And for here, we talk about a true immunotherapy. We use the fever, like the heat, so increasing your body temperature to induce a fever, spike a fever, alert the immune system to kind of go on the seek and destroy mission. We have mistletoe therapy, which is injections. Mistletoe therapy also directly stimulates the immune system. And mistletoe, it's like a cancer in a tree, so energetically it's similar to cancer in the body, where it stimulates the body, the immune system, to go after cancers. We have virotherapy, like viruses, these oncoviruses. Again, that stimulates the immune system, but these oncoviruses actually go after specific markers on cancer and breaks them down, or actually uses them to repopulate. So there's other immunotherapies compared to like the conventional immunotherapy.
When conventional, they're talking about then drugs that have been manufactured.
Yeah,
Not
correct. Yeah.
Because it makes it sound like it's like a healthy option.
Yes. And they could say, well, chemotherapy, it's natural too, because everything comes from nature at some point. So we're doing, I guess I'm just talking out of their mouth.
Right.
That we're doing natural therapy.
Right.
Because these chemicals are coming from nature.
Came
from somewhere. Of course, everything's, I guess, natural to some point. But then it has all the issues and side effects. And I'm not against conventional medicine. I'm not against that. I'm all for what's going to help people and help people's body get better and stronger. Now, of course, here, we're going to do everything that we do to get the person's body and systems and immune systems and cellular function to a place where it can hopefully overcome this and get over it. But there's obstacles in place, whether if it's lack of energy, lack of oxygen, toxins, mold, parasites, other things like that, environmental issues that block the body or block the cells or deprive the body and created this environment that induced the cancer. And so if we can clean all that up, if we can infuse just like a lot of nutrition, that's all the juices, the meals, all that support into the body, in a sense, super hydrate and super support the cells and cellular function and cellular energy, the body has the innate ability to fix and heal itself. And so with what we do here, it's helping to help the body to heal and recover and stimulate those natural processes in the body that has the ability to heal itself. So there's mechanisms, whether if it's the mitochondrial function, like the mitochondria into the cell, that's like your quarterback of the cell, your powerhouse, that dictates what's going to happen in the cell. In cancer, those are shut off. And then also apoptosis, like triggered cell death. That function also is shut off in cancer cells too. So we're trying to upregulate these cells in cancer cells, but we need to clean up the environment, clean up the area, improve blood flow and circulation and oxygenation and energy to the body and the cells in those areas to get to that point where the body, the mitochondria, the cells, and the function can work and function properly to either one, turn the cell back into a healthy cell, or two, trigger cell death. But it takes time, it takes a lot of therapy and treatment and movement and sweating and all the stuff that we do here to get the body to that point. And we have to get through all of these different obstacles.
And can it be done in 2 weeks?
That's what I was just thinking. I was thinking the same thing.
Can it be done in 2 weeks? No. 2 years, absolutely. 2 to 3 years. But there's this...
But I'm not going to live here.
But there's this critical point that we see happen that we want to get to. So right now, let's just say the body is going in a state of just disease and decay, and the cancer is progressing. So it's going down this way. This is not the road that we want to go. This is not the road that we want the body to go. We want it to go this way. So in order for us to shift and move the body into the direction of health and healing and recovery, it's the nutrition, it's the diet, the juices, it's the therapies and treatments and saunas, the sweating, all this, eliminating the toxins to get to that point. Now, there's a lot of heavy lifting to do that. Can you do that in 2 weeks? It'd be very hard. But we're still on this path. And it may take a number of weeks to finally get set up where the body is on that path of health and healing. And once we're on this path, then all the heavy lifting is done. But we're not we're not done. We still got to follow up on the nutrition. But all that heavy lifting, all the therapy and treatment,
It got you on that.
it got on that path. But now we just have to maintain it.
So the therapies and things here for a couple of weeks, when that stops, as long as you're following the proper dieting and juice and all those things, we'll keep working with it.
Absolutely.
Even though the therapies have stopped here, like IVs and all those things.
Yeah. Those help do a lot of that lifting. So, for example, a good analogy is like we're climbing up a mountain to the top of the mountain. It's a lot of work to get up there. Now, with maybe the IVs and therapies and treatments, it's going to give you a little bit of a lift up, right? But let's say we remove...
I need a helicopter.
Yeah, it's going to be like a helicopter. But if you stop short, the helicopter is not going to take you to the top. But when you're close to it, the diet, the nutrition, all that is going to help to take you through that. But then once we reach that peak, we see the body and certain markers shift in the body, in the blood, and even tumor markers and all these other factors where now we're on the right path. And the heavy lifting is done, but we still need to continue down this path. So we still need good diet and food and nutrition. Like none of that's changed. Like the core basic program is still the same. We don't deviate from that. But you're not doing all the IVs. You're not doing all the other therapies. Now, sweating, there's some things that I still recommend continuing to do. Sweating is usually one of those easy ones, like the saunas. And the nutrition.
What other, yeah, that's true. What other ways do you induce sweat?
Well, the saunas is the main thing. Like you need focused, like therapy, sweating therapy in order to stimulate that. And it's just one of the best and easiest ways for the body to cleanse and detox. So we'll utilize that here as well. But it's the nutrition, it's like even the supplements, and then like the sweating. Like that's kind of like the foundation of it. But it's continuing that.
But if you're here in Scottsdale and it's very hot and you sit outside, I will sweat a lot on the balcony.
Maybe,
Possibly.
Maybe when it's 115.
Yeah. And it's not like exercise sweating. You just want your body and your system to be relaxed, like in a sauna, and your body is like sweating.
That's fine.
So she's in a lot of pain, so she's doing like the CBD and hydrocodone.
Yes,
and like naproxen,
all those things.
So
all
that's
the time.
her like main concern, right? Like when she comes here, how is she gonna?
Still taking those things and being on those things. You can definitely look into medical marijuana as well. I think it may help.
But my lungs aren't going to allow that.
You don't have to smoke. There's like tinctures, there's drops, there's oils, there's other things.
I wasn't sure about trying that for some reason.
There's gummies.
I have gummies.
So there's other
options.
options.
You need more than the CBD though? Like
you need the THC.
She's afraid to do that because
But I've gotten very, very sick from before.
But that was a long time
Well,
ago.
that's because you're eating the whole cookie.
I've got a third of a gummy.
But that was a long time ago.
All night long.
That was a long time ago.
A couple years ago.
So again, it's finding the right product, taking the right amount. So and it's just about taking the edge off.
Is that something though that she could?
We help with and
Here?
guide people through
Okay.
here,
Okay.
but you got to get the stuff at the dispensary.
Okay.
Well, that's where I've been buying it.
Yeah, of course.
But you're buying something that maybe not as effective as what could be.
I'm just doing the lowest THC I could find.
Yeah, which is perfect.
But I was still doing 2,000 milligrams for
CBD.
200 or for 20 in the package. So it's 100 milligrams for each gummy.
Yeah. That's of the THC
No,
or
no, just the
the
CBD.
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 Yeah. So CBD is it can do for some people a little bit with pain, but it's not gonna it's.
I chew it to go before I go to sleep, or
Yeah,
sometimes
great.
when I first wake up in the morning.
Yeah. And the CBD
Or if
is.
I'm in a horrible pain, then I just take it and I just do it.
Yeah. Well, the
so
CBD
they'll
is
help
not
you
going to
with
have the other effects, but it doesn't have. It has a little bit of. It can have a little bit of effect on pain, but it's the THC component that's going to have a much better effect
With pain.
with pain.
But I don't want that trip from it. I don't want to trip out from it.
Yep, and it's just finding that dose where it's going to help to eliminate the pain and
Not
not
make you
pass
high.
that threshold where it's going to make you high.
And then the other thing she's worried about is that she's supposed to have salt in her diet because she has like some kind of
Basil.
vasosympathy.
Yeah.
Oh,
And I'm supposed to have extra salt. Always hydrated, all those things. And I do those things.
yeah.
And I haven't had blackouts, except for since this started. It's happened 3 times now.
When did the blackout start? When did this happen?
15 years ago.
Oh, 15 years ago.
With the, yeah,
But that's not related to your stroke.
I don't think so.
So we monitor electrolytes.
That's what I was wondering if
We do want to shift the sodium low, but not like terribly low. We want the potassium higher because it's going to help with cellular energy, communication, detoxification, and just better cellular function. So we monitor that, and we'll because we know that there is that issue, that we'll monitor it a little bit closer to see what we need to do.
So I have a question. So if the doctor says to do 2 rounds of chemo, but you don't really want to do, but he says if I don't do it, I won't do well. He says. So, should I just do 1 and then 3 weeks later I go back to do it? So if I do it there and then come here and that 3 weeks, I stay here for 2 weeks and then go back there and do a second one?
I think
that
she
be
should
okay?
do this first. I mean, I know it's her decision.
Of course, it's your decision.
If I have to do
Is
it,
it
should I
going
do
to
it?
ruin? What if she really wants to do chemo?
I don't really want to do it.
But if you decide to do it, is it better to do this first?
Yes, absolutely.
Do this first.
Because we're trying to get you, the body, removing the toxins. We're trying, and for you, thinking about the potential causes of these things. From you, your body, your life, what has been going on for the past, let's say 15, 20, 30 years, 40 years, whatever that time is, exposures to things, what you're doing, and maybe there's nothing, that's there. Because we would need to look at in our environments, like what do we need to do to clean things up? So that way we can clean up the body, clean up the system, remove those obstacles that may be hindering your body, and getting your body healthier and stronger, building up those reserves and those vital nutrients to, if you need to take that next level of treatment, your body's better, healthier, stronger, has a better buffer where it can withstand it and have better, faster recovery.
But the question, this was from nothing, it's growing and growing fast.
Absolutely.
But starting this treatment, could you ever actually see
Will that
it shrink and stuff?
Will it
Yeah.
shrink?
It can, yes.
So you have seen
But
that.
again, yes, and we need time. I've had also, let's just take it another approach. Again, it was somebody that was here. He had he went through therapy and treatment, and then he was having some just like issues with breathing and things like that. And so he went and got a treatment. They recommended chemotherapy, and he was open to getting one treatment. And he got the one treatment and came back and continued therapy and treatment, got over all the symptoms and things like that from that chemotherapy, and seen great improvements. And this was also stage 4. He needed, what was it, like 2-3 months of treatment, and like treatment every week. This was what was recommended. He only got 1, and he hasn't done anything since. And the scans from last December, everything was completely gone. He's still on the program. He's still getting treatment. He's still getting the nutrition. He's still on the program and following it, and his scans are all clear. And so, again, it's you still need to be on this path for like 2 years, 3 years to clean up the entire body and system. I've had other people that within a month of being on this, their scans completely cleared. Like no cancer, signs of cancer in the body.
And they didn't have any chemo or radiation?
No chemo radiation. Now this individual...
This has happened, right?
Yeah. This individual...
See, there's hope.
Yes.
That's what I feel like.
But, and I've had a number of those instances, but this one that I'm talking about now, he went off on the diet. He says, all my clans are cleared. He's like in McDonald's like the next day. 2 months later, it's like, I'm having symptoms again. And I asked him, what did you do? Well, I was eating this, I was eating that. It's like, get back on the diet, get back on the program. And then this cancer started going away.
It's crazy.
So I've seen great success with this.
How about people who fail though?
Fail?
Yeah, sometimes this doesn't help for some people.
Well, it helps everyone to a level. Is it going to in this place, so for example, like for you, will it work? We don't know. I do know that your body, your cells, I know exactly what they need, and I know what we need to do to get your body as healthy and strong as possible. But we're telling you what to do, but it's up to you to drink the juices. It's up to you to eat the food.
It's fine. I'm a chef. I can cook.
But,
I can make juices. I'm buying the cold press.
Perfect. But if
buying it already.
But if we see this, so we're trying to turn that boat. Or let's say in another analogy is the cancer's we're in a race. The cancer's here. It's winning. It's running fast, and we're behind. If we're not able to catch up to that cancer fast enough, sometimes they'll say, all right, we need to consider other options. Either one, maybe it's more therapies, maybe it's the oncoviruses, maybe it's mistletoe therapy, maybe it's more of whatever else that we're doing, and then see if that changes that course, or see if it gives up, like you mentioned that helicopter, to try to get ahead. If not, based upon how you're doing and feeling and lab tests and shifts in the body, if we're not catching up, it's like, all right, we need to look at conventional medicine. And I have this conversation with people. It's like, all right, we need to add that in. We still are doing all of these things and adding that in because we're trying to save and protect the body, the cells, for the long haul. And it's a process. It's a journey. It's not like just, I'm going to do this for a week and that's it.
Right.
It doesn't work that way. Just like the cancer, it probably is like 10, 15 years in the making. And so it's just now that we're experiencing these signs and symptoms, it's just like started to take off and now it's aggressive. But if we clean things up and clean up the body will reverse this course. I see it over and over again. But again, it's that time and commitment and attention and effort.
So, but if my doctor says that so you're saying if he says 2 chemos, so I should not do it, I should come here instead, right away?
I just know that for those...
Or if he says do 1 and then come here
and
for
then
the 2 weeks and then go to him, because it's 3 weeks later to the second one.
You could definitely do that. This is your own personal choice.
Will it change it? Will it change if I do the chemo and then come here and then do the IV?
Maybe you want me to do the chemo though.
Well, you don't know that quickly.
We don't.
No.
But you can always like.
Don't you want to try it?
So let's say you come here. You put in 2 weeks. Is that 2 weeks? Is it really going to change that much course in, let's say, the progression of cancer?
Right.
Now, within that though, I'm just letting you know that when we're moving the body in a state of disease and decay to a state of health, we're cleansing, we're detoxing. I'm not sure if you ever did a cleanse or a detox or any of those. Like sometimes you feel tired and weak and sick.
That's
and
what I am every day.
And not feeling good.
Now.
So you may even be more of that. And so there's a lot of work that's involved in that. And so with that too, when I do lab tests within these first few weeks, sometimes I see things getting worse. When we're stimulating the body, stimulating the immune system, it's activating, it's increasing inflammation. It's also increasing inflammation around the tumor and cancer as well. And so we see labs getting worse. But when we reach that pinnacle and get to the body of now health and healing, we start to see these things settle down. So,
but you don't see that in
not
2
initially.
labs.
Can we see it in 2 weeks?
You have.
Sometimes. And sometimes I've seen it in 6 weeks. So everybody's different. And I'm explaining all this that I'm saying that the body needs time. And if you can give yourself some time, I know you're here, and if you can give yourself some time to get the body healthier and stronger, buy a little bit more time, if you do conventional treatment, you'll have much better results and treatment and recovery by following this process and continuing this process as you go through those other conventional treatments.
Well, it's chemo, but then it becomes chemotherapy for 2 years, he said.
Yeah.
And then radiation. He said all 3.
Yeah. But on our side, if we can heal and support the body, give it what it needs, and we're working on the core issues of the potential issues why the cancer came in the first place. If we don't address these fundamental issues of why this cancer came about, and even though we don't necessarily know, we're trying to clean up the entire body and environment internally and externally to remove these factors and obstacles, to remove these blockages that may have created the cancer in the first place. If we don't take care of these fundamental issues and principles, the issue is still there. The root cause of the disease and cancer is still there. And even though conventional medicine may stop and inhibit the cancer for a while and it goes away, we still haven't fundamentally taken care of the cause and the causes of it. And with those conventional treatments, now suppressed and depressed and deprive the body even more so, an immune system. 5 years, let's say, goes down the road, of course it has time to grow and fester and all those things. We still mark you off as a cure, but the cancer has come back and now we need to do more treatments and therapies on the conventional side. And now it's worse than before because we're throwing gasoline on a fire, and even though we put it out, there's still the coals and ashes that are still there, and we're just putting more fuel on it for a future problem. If that made sense.
Yeah,
It did make sense to me.
It did or did not?
no, it did not. You got lost. There's a root cause of the cancer, and even though you're doing this treatment, if you stop, it might start growing again.
So we're dealing with those potential causes that cause cancer in the first place, we need to address those. And we can still address those at the same time that you're doing conventional treatment. But I see the one biggest mistake that most people make is they don't take care of that root problem and take care of their body through what we do here. And because the oncologist says you can eat whatever you want, you can do whatever you want,
Eat whatever you want.
Eat whatever.
That's what he said.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
So you're telling me that I can eat whatever bad food that I want?
But I don't eat bad. I clean.
I know, I'm just kind of being
She's
that
just saying
devil's
what the
advocate.
doctors say.
So you can say, I can eat whatever I want, all the food, all my enjoyable foods that I want, and I can eat that and I'm okay. Or should I be eating healthy food? Should I be, eating fruits and vegetables and like nourishing foods from like healthy foods from my body? Like if they say that it doesn't matter, like I'm assuming we know that eating healthier foods is going to make our body healthier.
Right.
Intuitively, or even
Right.
just, we don't even have to be intuitive.
No.
We just need common sense.
Common sense, yes.
But for us, we take that common sense nutrition and we let's say electrify it, we juice it up, we amp it up.
So I have a
So we're
question.
hyper nutrition.
I have a question. For nutrition, where is the protein? There's not much in those vegetables. They're minimal.
Yes.
Where is the protein
Yeah. So
for the body to live on?
Yeah. So there is protein in the vegetables that we eat.
Not much, but
Okay. So let me ask you, just being devil's advocate. So a cow, like we eat meat, right? Are they eating protein?
Grass.
Are cows eating protein? Because you're saying they need protein. Animals, we're animals.
they're a little bit, I guess.
So are they eating?
They're eating grass.
They're eating grass. So which is the vegetable? And they have muscles, right? They're big, muscular. We're eating them,
So
right?
you're saying we don't need as much protein as everybody's saying?
So that's correct. So we don't need that much protein. There is protein in the vegetables, but now for this, we need to cleanse and detoxify the body. Proteins will slow down digestive system, will slow down liver and kidney function, and in a sense, slow or halt that process of cleansing and detoxifying the body. And so we limit, of course, animal proteins initially, and just other consumptions of proteins, even like nuts and seeds and things like that, because
But those
we
are
have a
okay?
specific goal. There's
That's
not.
no.
We have a specific goal of what we're trying to do within the body, and certain things like protein limits that. People do fine.
Yeah, you'll still live, right?
Just asking.
Yeah,
No, that would be my question too.
yeah,
Because protein is like a huge thing right now. Everybody,
of course,
Right.
of course.
I
But the thing is
I
with
do 14 servings of protein a day.
yes,
Well, you need to do
but
something
these- but-
different now.
Yes, but
Yes.
proteins, whether if it's the fake proteins to like real proteins, it's when we're in a state of disease, and
I can change it.
it's not helpful, and there is some things, and sometimes there's some programs that I sometimes will go to more of like I don't know, the keto is like the main thing, but there's things that we need to do first before we would even consider that option.
Mm-hmm.
And there's so much things that we need to do and clean and support and nourish and instill vital nutrients into the body that that will block and halt that whole process, like proteins and
So the vegan is for however long. So could you ever become a vegetarian, or does it have to stay vegan?
Well, the program here is vegetarian. The foods are, I guess you'd consider it vegan, but it's by all means it's not a vegan or vegetarian program. Even for example, there's pills that we have like to support the liver. So there's liver capsules. That's actual like liver that you're in a sense eating.
For the supplements, but for the food itself.
But that's why you're doing the supplements
For right
too.
now,
Right.
it's vegan vegetarian diet. It's
Okay.
very strict.
So
It's very
where she's at now, stage 4, she can only really afford the second stage, like the 17,000.
The plus program.
Is that going to be enough
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Yeah.
for those 2
I mean,
weeks?
obviously we want to do the most that
Yes,
we can, but
yes.
it's expensive.
So the basic core fundamentals and foundation of this program is the juices, is the food, the supplements, and then from there the coffee enemas with the liver and detoxification to like even the saunas. Just take that is very powerful in and of itself. Why do we need to add all these other things? Because our world and environment has more toxins and chemicals and pollutants, where we sometimes need to add these other therapies and treatments in to help to get the body a little bit further ahead, to remove these things and chemicals from the body to allow the body to heal. Now, if you talked to me 20 years ago and we'd having this conversation, I say, yeah, maybe the basic program is all that you need. It's much different nowadays than it was 20, 25 years ago when we're seeing this. And it was much different 50 years ago when there was just...
20 years ago, I was a baby.
Yeah. So, the world is different. And you look at disease, and you look at cancer, let's say 50 years ago, maybe it was like 1 out of a couple hundred people had cancer. Now it's 1 out of 3 people have cancer. In 5 years, it's postulated in 5 years, 1 out of 2 people will have cancer. This is not normal, it's not natural, and should not be happening. So we need to take a step back and look at what's happening. Children, like when we're talking about, because we see sometimes more things happening with children. So look at kids. 1 out of 30 children have some type of autistic or ADD or attention deficit disorder. So 1 out of 30 kids, I think it's more than that are on some type of medication in schools. Whereas, let's say 50 years ago, it was 1 out of 10,000. Very rare. So what's happening? And so we take a step back and we look, well,
It's environment.
they're spraying the fields, or genetically modified foods, like, what are we introducing to ourselves? What are we spraying around our houses and environments? Whether if it's beds or carpets or furniture, like all this stuff is like we're like a cup, and we're filling it with all these toxins, and our bodies aren't able to get rid of it fast enough. And so what's happening? Our bodies internally are breaking down, and within that causes cancer. So we look at the environment now, we look at the environment back then, and we see the shift in the difference. And what do we need to do? Well, everything that we do here to help to get the body back to that healthier state.
I'm sold.
You're sold? Are you
I'm
buying
sold.
it? You're buying it for me?
I want to do it if I could.
She's gonna come visit and hang out with me.
But
for a little bit.
but this process, if you want to come to this side and see the light, this side is not easy. It's a like you are committing yourself
I'm here
to
from
this
Chicago.
process.
Apparently, if I came from Chicago, I'm committed to it.
Yes,
I'm here.
absolutely, and that's the first step. But it's that commitment and determination that you are going to do this, you're going to follow this, you're going to put the time and effort into it, because the other route is you go to the doctor. It's like, okay, I'm here, doctor, take care of me and do whatever you need and eat whatever you want.
But I don't want to be sick. I don't lose my
Exactly.
hair.
That's disease.
wanna be a
That's
skeleton.
disease management, and they're going to keep you sick and diseased. But what we're trying to do is we're trying to empower you for you to take on your life, your health, and you have to fight for this. And you have to fight, it's not fighting you and the cancer, it's about the fight, like the race, like it's a battle or a race or a competition. Like you need to put the effort, you need to put the training in.
I have no problem with it.
Awesome. But it's hard, and it's a lot of work.
It's not hard.
When she puts her mind to
Good.
something,
I do everything.
Yeah, she's
Great.
really dedicated.
Yeah, awesome.
But
And you need to take that energy and that power and that will to live and that fight to live, to do and put the effort in. And with that, you're going to get the reward. And the reward is good health. And so take this and take everything, and the reward for you in health and longevity and happiness and the reasons why you want to live for yourself. And you need to be selfish because you need to take care of yourself first and your family. I hope I didn't talk too much.
No.
I feel that, are we asking too many questions? Because
And as you can see, I'm passionate with this because I know that this system works and I see it over and over again, but it's not easy.
right.
If you want easy, go to the conventional medicine side because they say that it's easy. And they put you on a conveyor belt and they wheel you in and they wheel you out and that's it. But this takes that commitment and time and energy and effort. And no salt on the food. And no salt on the food.
No salt on food.
No salt.
You're
You'll live.
You're gonna pick me up off the floor.
You'll live.
If you need to, yes.
But if I black out, you're gonna find me okay without hitting my head.
Well, if there's things that we need to juggle, of course, everybody's unique and individual, and if there is other deficiencies that are happening, we need to support and correct that. And the juices, the food, it has all those minerals and electrolytes and nutrients to help support the body and rebalancing the body. And with that, hopefully it will correct whatever this dysfunction is, because it's not a lack of salt.
It's because for some reason my blood pressure gets very low, and so it needs to have that to be, I don't know.
That's what they tell you.
I went to the hospital, I was there for 3 days. They did
Yeah.
every test you could think of, and everything was negative, negative, negative.
Yes.
And then I went to the cardiologist, and he did a table test, a tilt table.
Oh, yes.
You know what that is?
Yeah.
And they strapped me down, and there's an IV. They're gonna either don't move, and if you don't black out within 8 minutes, we're gonna black you out to see what happened.
Cool.
Within 3 minutes, I was blacked out.
I gotta get one of those tables.
Right?
Now,
That's how they found out.
So for you,
That's how they knew.
knowing,
They checked my blood pressure
Yep.
over and over. It was down and low, up and
Yes,
down, up
yes,
and down,
yes.
and then that was
So
it.
knowing this-
and then that was it. And that was
Yeah.
I was just down.
So knowing this, and we deal with a lot of people that are water fasting, so going without food for 20, 30, 40 days, and just on water alone. So again, you need to be responsible for yourself, and that means like if you get up slow, you go down slow. So there's things that you need to do to maintain
That's
that.
what I do. I don't get up fast.
But I'm not saying that you may not need salt. I'm saying I think there is other deficiencies and other imbalances in the body that maybe your body, your cells, whatever it is, isn't able to hold salt, or there's that orthostatic hypertension that is causing that we need to support those deficiencies, and maybe it will balance things out. How do I know? I don't know. We gotta see. And we'll be mindful of the sodium in the IVs, of course, the juices. You're getting natural sodium from those things too. So it's not like we're gonna. You're not gonna be completely cut off the sodium.
Do you have any more questions?
I'm just not sure if the doctor says to do chemo right away.
Okay.
Or
so
not.
so one of the things that I stress for people is you need to have a plan. You need to have a plan. And this is your plan. And what is it that you want to do? And so
I don't want to be sick from doing that.
So you have to be sure whatever it is. And if you just say, I'm going to do the chemo and I'm going to do one chemo treatment, that is your plan. And you need to mentally be focused and clear that, okay, I'm going to do chemotherapy. and you see the chemotherapy, loving your body, taking care of it, working on the cancer, like these are the things that you need to work on, and that it's not some poison. Like you need to have a good
But it
attitude.
is poison.
You need to have a good attitude of going into it, that it's going to heal you and your body, right, mentally and physically.
So
you need to you need to be clear, and
have your plan set.
so like, so
Positively.
you need to be the doctor. You need to be the driver in this process. I'm not your driver. I'm just a health coach. They need to be your health coach too, even though they're the doctor. But you need to be the one driving this. If you're not driving the car, you're going to be lost in their system.
He's just scaring you, saying that if you don't get this soon, like it's going to get worse. But it's already been going on for a long time. That's how I look
Absolutely. And why didn't they do anything or say anything before?
well, I didn't know until I asked for MRI.
Yeah. And again, because I think part of this is like, that's why you will get lost in the system if you are not in the driver's seat.
Well, I am. That's how I got the MRI.
Great. And that's why you're here.
Yes.
So again, you need to make up your mind when you go see this oncologist of what you're going to do. And if you can say, can I wait for a couple weeks? You know, I have some things lined up. There's things that I need to do. Can I wait for 2 weeks?
Especially when it's been taking, 3 months to get all the 2 months to get all the testing and the diagnoses.
And again, how many years?
Right.
And
I
there's,
don't know how long. They don't
and
know how long.
and we are in, and for you, we are in the window. I know that we do have some time. Okay. That time we have, and then you can decide. And you could just give yourself 2 more weeks of working on you, yourself, and mentally working on these things to get ready for that next step.
So how long does it take to be able to be here?
How?
Like, is there a space available, or you have to wait until it's, or are you in line for it?
I think we have space. I know some people are leaving, and I think there's space open.
Can there be a plan, like if I say I can come on this day, it's available, if it's open, they'll let me in at that time?
Yep. Yep.
Do you have any more questions?
Is there a reason to move here now? If it's just for a couple weeks and go back to Chicago and follow the plan? I'm selling my house to come here
Yeah.
for treatment, whether here or it's Mayo.
Yeah.
Well, these are the decisions.
Well, I'm gonna try to find the recipe for. You must have a
Okay, I
recipe
have
for the stock.
Figure it out.
So you gotta make
Of course.
burgers of your own.
Yeah.
You don't own that?
I would do it even if you think you want to do chemo, just to get your body ready.
But if I do it for 2 weeks and then the doctor says, okay, we gotta do it right away, but there's no time to see that there's changed or not.
Well, some of the changes that you will feel that we sometimes, in generally do. One, it could go one way where you're just not feeling good and sick, and have you ever done a cleanse or any program like any cleansing program?
I've done master cleanse.
Okay, kind of like the master
Many
cleanse.
times.
Sometimes you don't feel very good during the master cleanse.
No, I'm actually okay with it.
Okay.
I'm very committed
Yeah.
to it.
Some people don't feel good.
Some people
doing
don't feel very good. Their body is cleansing and detoxing. Sometimes that happens, but sometimes people just start feeling better, feeling stronger, feeling more energy, better sleep. So all these things, that's a possibility too. And we see that with this, and especially when people are getting the IVs and therapies and treatments, we don't really see that many like down and outs where people aren't really like puking their heads off. We see
Do they ever throw up from it? Here?
sometimes. but very rare. It would be unusual.
So the IV is not doing well with me. If it make me feel sick, then what do? How do they stop nausea or?
We have, whether if it's, there's certain things that we do for nausea, whether if it's certain teas, we even have medications for nausea. If things happen, we have a progression of things, usually like 5-6 things that we
So
can
whatever happens.
So are those all in the plan, or are those things that paid separately?
well, on the Plus program, that would be kind of like in that mix. And one of them is just peppermint tea.
The problem is I have food allergies.
Perfect.
How much mango we got?
Most of the stuff on here is probably not on your list.
Most of the
If it is on your list, if the foods are on that list of allergies, then you have issues with your digestive system and you need to heal and
I'm
repair.
allergic to peppermint.
Well, then we have chamomile.
And I will never drink it. It's horrible.
You're allergic to peppermint?
Yes, it gives me. Yes, I have EpiPen. I swell. I get welts everywhere. Problem breathing.
Yeah. So if we know that, we will give you the peppermint tea.
Ginger, mango, peppermint.
Yeah. And there's other things that we have that would help with that.
Okay.
Besides those things.
I'll trust you.
Yes. But you will have to let us know, like, no peppermint.
I've had allergies. Sometimes it's been actually like gone into something I've eaten, and I've had like itchiness from it, but not like
Yeah.
full allergies. Sometimes it just depends on how my body's acting.
Sure.
Sometimes I don't know.
Yep.
I found out because I was eating Arabic tabbouleh, and it has mint in it.
Do you have any more questions for me?
I'm just leaving you.
I know, I'm sorry, I'm just getting anxious now.
Why?
I'm hungry.
Otherwise,
And it's been a while.
Yeah.
You want this soup? Is that soup good?
Yeah, it's very good.
Does it taste good?
Yeah. No, I eat the food here.
Good answer.
No, I do. I love it. And when I'm not here, let's say I go for like a weekend, of course, somewhere, and I'm eating like other foods, I feel like my energy's gone, and my body actually craves this food.
You live here?
Part time.
You have a
Yeah.
room here. So in the tour, can I see the property? Because I didn't see.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Just
just
go to
saw
the front and I'll give you a tour.
Okay.
Maybe there's some rooms I
But
can
not
show you.
outside though, because it's too cold. I have no jacket. You're dressed for winter.
It is. It's winter. Did you see it snowing?
I know.
No, we came without jackets.
I love it.
Yeah, I think they can probably show you a couple rooms. I'm not sure if there's a room upstairs.
I didn't know anything.
Which, if you're looking for that, most likely your room will be upstairs. Because there's upgraded rooms on the first floor.
Upgrade.
Yeah. That means they cost more.
I don't need to upgrade. Just do the bed.
And the food was terrible. You were probably here in the beginning. I don't know.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, of course. And if you have other, I'll put this with yours. If you have other,
That's mine. Oh, that's.
did they copy this?
Yeah.
That's the force of the book.
Uh,
I know there's other books, but
Yeah, they'll show you that, the rooms, and then whenever you're ready.
yeah.
I have to figure it out. I have a
This
couple
first
things.
one.
Thank you, doctor.
Yeah.
Nice meeting you.
Yeah.
Can you drop your name again?
Ryan.
Ryan. Dr. Ryan. Ryan, R-Y-A-N.
Yeah, so, they can show you around. They can tell you the room.
I just want to see. I'm not going to So that is the same food? It doesn't look so bad.
No, it's actually really good.
doesn't work.
It looks good. Actually, I'll eat that.
Yeah, it's delicious.
Well, of course it's going to
It's
be.
delicious.
Yeah. No, I love it.
It looks good.
Yeah.
Thank you again.
Yeah.
Thank you. I will see you again.
Thanks. Good. Yeah.